All movie genres follow some sort of formula. Going into a horror movie, you should know that there's going to be that one girl who miraculously makes it to the end.
Hell nah, I ain't fighting no final girl.
There's going to be a scene in a police flick where the cop hands over their badge. And it's not that these films are lazy, it's just that these tropes help categorize them. Take romantic comedies. It's usually some variation of boy meets girl, girl hates boy, boy and girl bond, they fight, they fall in love, and some might be more subtle than others, but at its core they follow some sort of pattern. But there is one movie that did this so effectively that people might not realize that their green-faced god is nothing more than a hopeless romantic stuck inside a love story. This is media philosophy exploring the deeper side of romantic comedies with Shrek. It might be a little hard to believe that a movie that starts with this would be a romantic comedy, but it follows all of the story beats to a T. In classic romantic comedy fashion, it starts with the main character absolutely rejecting the notion of love. Whether it's the businesswoman too focused on her career, the player who never wants to settle down, or the slacker who is just too cool to get it together, they are perfectly content with the way life is and would be happy to live out the rest of their days stuck in the same routine. But despite their outer shell, there is a yearning deep down inside. Even if they can't articulate it, they know that there is more to life. Shrek ripping out this page perfectly sets up the change his character is about to endure. Look at him making dinner for himself. It's calm, controlled, but ultimately empty. It's that weird feeling we've all felt when we're lonely but also content, where we get comfortable being alone and the idea of being around another person just doesn't seem worth the effort. But, like any good love story, fate has another plan. Fate plays an important role in romantic comedies. Sometimes it's the result of spilling coffee on someone, a chance encounter, or just a forced meeting. It's as if Cupid himself placed these fairy tale creatures in Shrek's swamp and set the wheels in motion. But in order for the main character to achieve what they don't even realize they need, they must change. But Shrek is just not ready to. He literally rejects the role of a hero so he can continue his bachelor life. Although, he does start to share a bit of his authentic self through his famous onion speech. Fast forward to the beginning of Act 2 and our lovers finally meet. And much like Paula and failure to launch, there is a mission to complete. Shrek didn't plan on falling for the princess, and the princess has an expectation of who Mr. Right is, even though he's standing right in front of her. And right at the halfway point, the two can't stand each other, which is perfect. Because a good love story has tension and conflict. It would be boring if the two just met and are instantly head over heels for each other. How many times does Adam Sandler strike out in 50 First Dates? This conflict gives the two a chance to grow closer. Shrek and Donkey spend a night under the stars where Shrek finally opens up. But, not being used to this vulnerability, he retreats back into himself. But Donkey won't allow it. Donkey pushes forward and Shrek loses it. He finally admits that he's afraid.
They judge me before they even know me.
Afraid of what people will think or say. Or he's so used to being treated one way that he's just given up. This is all happening while the wrong guy is fantasizing about his dream girl. And then, right in the second half of Act 2, after Fiona hears from the real Shrek, she has a change of heart. She realizes that the two share a connection and start to build on that. Then they overcome an obstacle together, well, sort of. Fiona kicks these guys' collective asses and then shares a tender moment removing something from Shrek's butt. And let's be honest, is there anything more romantic than Shrek's butt? Now this next sequence is the key honeymoon phase. This is the part of the movie where everything is just perfect. In other movies, they might go on a fantastic first date, spend the night together for the first time, or in this case, abuse small animals like prepubescent serial killers. They share one final night together where everything is just fantastic. Happily ever after is right within their grasp. Shrek is finally ready to live his authentic self. At the beginning of the film, he's eating alone, but now they're together and even planning future meals together. But things can't just stay sunshine and cobweb cotton candy forever. No, we need one last hurdle to overcome. In this case, Shrek overhears something he shouldn't have. In other movies, maybe one character read a text message they weren't supposed to read, or maybe an ex-boyfriend comes to shake things up. Either way, the relationship is either in trouble or flat out dead. The next morning, everything changes. Shrek thinks one thing and Fiona another. It's the perfect storm of miscommunication where they both think that they're on the same page. It leads to this wonderful mixture of heartbreak, protecting one's pride, and accepting what they think is the inevitable.
Fare thee well, ogre.
And this line is just so biting. There is layer upon layer of subtext. And you might be thinking, why not just talk to each other and clear the air? But remember, their looks are what they're most sensitive about. They care about what other people think. So when they think the person that really understands them doesn't accept who they are, it hurts extra. Now this is the part where everyone achieves their false goal. Shrek gets his swamp back and Fiona has her king. But suddenly, they learn what's truly important. It isn't status or things. They got a taste of love and they can't shake that feeling no matter how hard they try. You can even see the hurt in Shrek's eye over his best friend supposedly betraying him. And we even go back to this food motif. This is the part of the movie where the main characters retreat back into their previous selves. They put themselves out there and got hurt confirming their previous views of the world. But then comes the ever so critical stage where the main character is revigorated. And it usually happens through a speech from some wise person that sets them back on track. In this case, Donkey dishes out some hard truths that really get to him. So Shrek breaks down and then commences what's basically the equivalent to the running through the airport sequence. If you're not convinced that this is a romantic comedy, then how do you explain this? This is just one of those mathematical truths, like a right triangle has at least one angle that's 90 degrees, a square must have 4 equal sides, and any movie where the climax involves a guy running down the aisle to break up a wedding is definitely a romantic comedy. Just look at this soft lighting, the speech, the music.
By night one way, by day another. I wanted to show you before.
Faced with a choice, the two characters know what they want. They could live some lie, but they've just come too far for that. They found their true selves and are able to live the life that they deserve. And what's a romantic comedy without a little murder, right? And there you have it. When the internet gushes over Shrek saying that he's love, they're right. He is love. He overcomes preconceived notions of himself and takes a chance on being his authentic self. We can all learn a lesson from this movie. With a little bit of introspection and honesty, we can make a change. So put on those green ears, bust out the eyeball jelly, and be yourself. Because if you're not yourself, then who's the other person falling for? This is Media Philosophy, exploring the deeper side of entertainment.